So what I want you to do is to extract codes and author names from the website and save them in a CSV file named codes.csv. So you are getting codes from the website. Now what you have to do, instead of only getting the codes, I want you to extract the author names as well. And then instead of creating a text file, I want you to create a CSV file for that. So for the sample output, what I'm expecting is that there should be the name of the author first, then its code. Then on the next line, the name of the next author, then its code. It's totally on you if you want to do the pagination in there as well. It's totally optional, but it's a good practice to add the pagination in here as well. So just give it a try. In the next video, I will discuss the solution with you. This is our code and this is our author's name. So what we have to do is that in the previous video, I told you that how you can iterate on different pages of this website and how you can extract different codes out of it. Now what we will do, we will devise the same mechanism, plus we will also add a mechanism of extracting the codes, and then we will try to sync both of them together and put them in the CSV file. So here if we go for the IDE, so here let's just import the request first and then request.get. Now let's just hit on this URL and save it in a variable res. Now let's just extract the HTML from them. Now here I will split HTML on the basis of \n, and it will provide me each line for each iteration of the for loop. So if I go for line in HTML dot split on the basis of \n. Now if we just simply print the line and hit enter, perfect, we are getting the complete HTML. Now what we did in the previous video, we will do the same here, that we will try to extract the codes first and then we will try to extract the author's name. So this is the text that actually encloses our quotation mark. So what we have to do, we have to just look for this text in the line, that if this text, okay, I guess I copied that as well. So we have to check this one, that if this line, if this text is in our line, then we just simply print that line right now. Perfect, now we are getting only that thing. Now we have to remove this one and the last span as well. So if we go for line equals to line dot replace and replace this text with the empty string, and then line equals to line dot replace the closing span tag with the empty string here as well. Perfect, so let's just enclose these quotation marks here as well, just to make it neat. So if we remove this one, if we add this one here as well, perfect. So now our line will only have the quotation mark here, and if we give it a go, and let me just do this thing, code equals to line dot strip, and the reason why I'm stripping is just to remove the extra white spaces from either side of the text. So if we then print the code, now if we hit it again, perfect, we are getting the codes. So now what we have to do is, after getting the codes, you can verify that here as well, that we are getting the first code, then we are getting the second code. Now we will try to extract the author names from here as well. Now let's just comment this section out and now replicate the same thing for the quotation. That for the first instance, we will print the line. And now we can notice that our author is surrounded by this text, by this tag. So let's just check that if line contains this thing. If this in line, then I want to print the line. So now if we run it, perfect, now we are only getting the names of the authors. So now let's just eliminate this thing from here, that line equals to line dot replace this thing with the empty string, and then line equals to line dot replace, because I want to replace the closing tag from here as well, replace this thing with the empty, and then let's just say author equals to line dot strip, and the reason I'm stripping is again the same, just to eliminate the white spaces from both of the ends, and then let's just print the author. So now if we give it a go, hopefully we will be getting the names of the authors. Perfect. So now what we will do is we will try to sync them together. So if I take this one, uncomment this, cut this and put it here. So now in this, for the first iteration, I will be getting this line, right? And after getting this line, I am just extracting that the quotation from there, and then I am printing that quotations. And after that, I am hitting on searching for this particular text present in the line, and if that text is present in the line, then we are extracting the codes from here and then printing the code. So this is it from this video. In the next video, we will continue with this solution. Hi and welcome back. So let's just continue with the quiz solution. So here in the previous video, we extracted the codes from the HTML response, and then we extracted the author names from the HTML response. Now here comes the tricky part. So here we are getting the codes and we are getting the authors in two different lines. So here you can see that the first line will provide us with the codes, and the next line with the author's name. So what we can do is, right now over here we can save the code in this code variable. So for the first iteration, when we will be getting this thing in the line, from the line, we will save the code in this variable. And then for the next iteration, we are getting this thing. And as soon as we will get this thing, we will just simply print the quotation from the above if and the author names. So now let me just give it a go. So now I'm getting the quotation and then I'm getting the author's name. Right, so for those of you who are not getting this, let me just simplify this further for you, that if I simply comment this out and then let's just print the line first. So now here you can see that we are getting each line for each iteration. If I add some delimiters here as well, right now if we give it a go again, so we are getting each of this line for each iteration in the for loop. So if we head back to our quotation, see, for the one iteration we are getting this thing, and for the next iteration we are getting this thing, which is our actual author's name. So if for the first iteration we just simply save this thing in a variable, and in the next iteration when we will get this thing, we can simply consider this code, consider this author name, and then save it in a file or in a CSV version. So here if we head back towards it, let me just remove this thing. So what will happen here is that for the first iteration, when let's say we are iterating on this HTML response for the first time, this thing will be present in the line that contains our code. So it will just simply extract the code and save this in the variable. Then it will check for this if, and we will not get anything because the current line does not contain this thing, it only contains this thing. And then for the next iteration, as soon as it gets to this line, we know that this is the author name of this previous code. Then we just simply print the author name and we just simply print the code. So here if we hit it again, perfect. Now what we can do is we just need to simply put them in the file. So let's just open a file handler with open codes.csv in the writing mode as F. Then what we can do, we can just simply refer to our file handler here, and instead of printing this, we can go for writing the author first. Then let's just add a comma, and then we just need to put the code. And let's just add some new line here. So now if we hit it again, done. And if we come here, so now we are getting the author name first and then its code. Then we are getting the author name, then its code. So here if we hit here and just open the codes.csv, so here you can see I am getting the author name and I am getting the quotation. So this is the author name and these are the quotations. So we can verify this from here as well, that from Albert Einstein we are getting the first code, and we are also getting the same code here as Albert Einstein, and same with the follows. So this is pretty much it from this quiz solution. So if you are stuck at anywhere or you find anything disturbing, let us know in the question answer session and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Hi and welcome back. So now we are heading towards winding up the Python request module and then we will head on the beautiful soup. There are a couple of things left that I want to cover before moving on to the next topic, which is some AJAX request and some sort of pagination that you can control from there. So here if we look into this website, this is an ESPN website. So now if I scroll this down, so there are some news mentioned. Now if I scroll this down, you will notice something that after going to the bottom, see, the URL doesn't change, the URL is the same, but this thing, the new newsletters have been added. So this is not the thing that we have done so far. We when tried to scrap the code store to scrap, we tried to replicate the pagination by writing a for loop and all that stuff. But in this case, the URL is actually not changing, right? We do not have any visible changes happening in this URL or even in this page which we can replicate. So how we can replicate this type of pagination? So it is not like that this type of pagination is not common for me, and as far as I know about the web development, this is the most common type of pagination that you usually use, that you are just appending the data on the existing page without refreshing it. So how we can replicate its request using the request module, we will see in a second. So if I refresh this, so again now I am on the basic page. Now if I inspect this, okay, so this is the element where the HTML tags are available. And now if I go for the network tag, it will actually take a couple of seconds for rendering the network tag. And yeah, perfect. So now what we will do is we will try to hit on to the last page and then we will see that what are the changes that are taking place in this network tag. So for those who are not familiar with this network tag, so every request that this page, this website is making back to its server without refreshing the page will be displayed here. So if the page right now, if we scroll down and this page will send a request to the server for the next newsletter, this will be replicated here for sure, because this network panel is responsible for showing us all the requests that is happening, that is taking place between the website and the server. So if we just clear this for now, and now if we scroll down, see, this is the request which is taking place. If we just select this URL, and we squeeze this out, let's just go to the top and see, this is the URL. Actually, this is the API which is taking place. This is the API communication which is taking place between the server and the website. So if we just double click that, see, we are getting the JSON now. As I mentioned earlier, that the request module is perfect if you want to iterate on some APIs, if you want to fetch data from some sort of API endpoint. So request is perfectly fine for that. So here you can see that we are getting the JSON as a response, and then we can simply use Python to parse that. Let me just copy this and opens a JSON editor. So now what we will do is we will try to replicate this same URL using the request module, and after getting the response, we will try to parse this. Let's just put this JSON over here. So see, these are the 10 news that we are getting here. If we go for the 0, so this is the author of the news, this is the image, and if we scroll down a bit, so this is the summary of the news. And yeah, if we go further, if we go, let's say, for the last one, if we click on that, again the author, the summary, and all that stuff. So now what we will do is we will try to hit on that, and we will, let's say, go for up till 5 pages, and then we will try to extract the news from there. So now if we just see that likewise we did in the earlier videos, that when we have to do the pagination, we tried to unify the URL. So here instead of 2, if we go for 1, so it will surely get us the data of page number 1. That's perfect. So now in this video we have saw that how we can actually debug, how we can actually look out for all the URLs, for all the data that is coming from the APIs. So here we saw that we can open the network panel and search for the data that is taking place from the AJAX request, and then how we can open that. And also we saw that how we can open them in a JSON editor, and how we can further go in depth of them to identify where our actual data is. In the next video, we will try to extract this data out, and also we will try to do the pagination. Hi and welcome back. In the previous video, we saw that how the browser is making AJAX request to the server and how we are getting the JSON response from the server. Now what we will do is we will try to replicate the same thing in our IDE using the request module, and after getting the response, we will try to parse that and extract the author name and the summary of the news. So let's just go here first, and this is the actual endpoint. So if I just copy this out, come here and let's just import the requests, and then request.get, and here if I pass this URL, and here I get the response. Let me just put this in a variable, and then let's just pass the variable here. And after getting the res, if I just simply print the res.text, so now if I hit it, see, I'm getting the response, I'm getting the JSON response here. So now what I have to do is I have to devise a way to actually parse that JSON and get my required data. So over here, what I can do is I can say data equals to this thing, and then I can actually, let me just show you something. Let me just show you the type of this response first, and then we will see that how we can convert them. So it is a string. So if you have a JSON as a string present in your response, what you can do is you can simply import the JSON library, and then data equals to this thing. And from here, what we can do is we just need to say JSON.loads, and then let's just print the data now. And let's just print the type of data as well. Now if we hit enter, perfect. So now I get the JSON back, plus this is now a list. So the JSON.loads actually converted my data, my string, into a JSON, and the most outer data structure of that JSON is a list. So that's why I'm getting a list here. Now what I have to do is I have to go for this JSON and see that this is the array. Right, so for the first, I just need to iterate on it. I just need to iterate on the items of the list, and for each list, it is a dictionary, and I just need to get the author. Let's just get the author first and then go for the summary. So if we just remove this thing, and now if we go for news in data, let's just print the data first. Print the news first, and add some delimiters to distinguish. So now if we hit it again, perfect. So see, these are the actual newses. These are the 10 newses which are mentioned on this page, and which I am reading here. So these are the 10 list element, 10 dictionary elements in the list that contains our actual data. So now what we have to do is, so instead of just printing the news as news is a dictionary, we just need to dereference it and extract our required data. So we need to get the author, and also let's just get the summary straight away as well. It's quite simple. So the summary. Now if we do this thing, and then again let's just put the delimiter here, give it a go. See, now this is the actual what I am getting is I am getting the name of the author, plus I am getting the news summary. So if I scroll this up, so for the first one, the name of the author is Matt Roller. Matt Roller. Okay, I guess this is the JSON response for the page number 2. So right now we are on page number 1, so we have to copy this and paste this here, cast it, and now if we go for the 0th, this is our author, and if we search for our author now, what we are getting, Matt Roller. No result. Okay, so actually what is happening right now, that this is a live website, and there is a chances that the news got updated, or that news got shifted on the bottom side, or just went for the page number 2 or page number 3, or they removed this news. This also you need to consider this thing that when you are trying to scrap some live data, right? So the data is continuously changing, like you are scraping some sort of e-commerce website, some sort of news website. So there could be a possibility that while debugging or while defining the path or while defining some sort of structure for your scraping, so as soon as you will get the data, there is a chances that the data will not be the same that you look on the website. So there are the chances that the data is being updated or become obsolete and all that stuff. So right now I think that this happens, that our data just got shifted to some other page or got obsolete. Now there is also a chance that this data, let's say if you are trying to scrap, so it doesn't mean that you will always get the 0th location for the first time. So it means what I'm saying is that it is a possibility that this dictionary, the first element of this list, could be on this position, on position number 7, and position number 7 can be on position number 1, and position number 1 can be on position number 0. So it could be shuffled. It is not hard and fast that if you are seeing this thing in this pattern here, then it will be the same on your receiving end. So this thing that this is the thing that you have to take care of, that you should not always rely of your data verification from the front end. There are some cases where your data is being updated, and it is not the hard and fast rule that you will always get the data in a particular format. So now if we run this again, there is quite a chance that we will get some other news here as well. So again, I'm getting the mat roller here, and then this one. So if I just look here, the 0th is that Daniel, and if I go for the first one, no. So although I'm getting the Daniel Rasool here, so this is this one which I'm getting. So again, as I just said, that it is not a necessity that you will get the same output here in the scraping as you are seeing on the front end, but the only guarantee is that you will get the complete data. If you're trying to scrap the complete website, then eventually you will get the complete data. It's not like that it's all the other way around. It's almost 80 to 90% of the time it matches with the data. So here we get this thing, we get the name of the author, and we get the summary in this video. Now in the next video we will try to replicate the pagination, and we will see that how we can extract data from further pages as well. Hi and welcome back. So in the previous video we saw that how we can extract our news data from the JSON that we are getting. Now we will try to replicate the pagination. So again, the pagination would be the same, that we will just put the whole logic inside a for loop, and then we iterate on it. Let's say we iterate on the first 5 pages, and then the same logic will be replicated for all of the news pages. So if we go for the website, here we have this URL, and then if we go for page number 2, we get the data for the second page. If we get for page number 3, we get the data for page number 3, and this goes on and on. So right now let's just hit on up till page number 5. So what we have to do is we just have to put this complete logic inside the for loop. Give it an indentation. So over here for I in range from page number 1 to page number 5, because 6 is not inclusive. So over here, this thing would be the I, and let's just make it a string notation. And instead of writing this here, let's just put this in a file. So let's just open a file here. So here we can go with open, and let's just create a new file, name it as news.txt, and it is opening in the write mode, and then as f. And over here what we will do is we will just simply put it f.write, then the news, then the anchor name, then we can just simply put a pipe here to distinguish between the author name and the news summary, and then we will get the news summary. And after that, let's just print a backslash n there. So now if we just give it a go, okay, we have to put a colon here as well. So now before running this, let's just give it a quick try run, that I'm iterating on page number 1 to 5. Then I'm passing the URL here. After extracting the data from that particular URL, I'm extracting the JSON, and then I'm parsing that JSON and extracting my required author name and the summary. Perfect. So now if I give it a go, perfect. So now if we just open this, the news.html, the news.text. So here hopefully there would be around 51 news I'm getting. So 10 news per page, so I'm getting the 50 news. And then if we get here, we are getting the name of the author and then the news summary, and this goes on and on. And here you can see that there is no author name, but there is just news summary. This is also a possibility, not a big thing to worry about. And finally we are here. Perfect. So in this video we saw that how we can replicate the AJAX request with the pagination as well. And now in the next video, we will head towards understanding the beautiful soup. So let me just take you to the website. Here you can see I am on ESPN Quick Info website, and if I go for stats, open super stats. So here I am getting some stats. So if I scroll down, see, it is fetching some new stats as from the AJAX request. This is exactly the same thing that we just saw in the previous video, where the AJAX is getting some new data for the next page, and on the same web page, it is actually rendering the new landed or the new response data. So here you can see we can go on, and the pages and we'll keep on adding using the AJAX. So what I want you to do is to scrap this page and extract top 20 or the first 20 stats from there. Just give it a try, and we will discuss the solution in the next video. Hi and welcome back. So let's just discuss this solution. So the question was that there are some super stats, there are some simple statistics that are being shown on this page. And as soon as I scroll down, the browser is actually hitting on the server, asking for some new data. And as soon as the browser gets the response, the browser is rendering that response here on the web page. Now what we have to do is we have to figure out a way through which we can control this AJAX pagination. This is not a regular pagination which we can control from here, because notice that as soon whenever I scroll down, there is data being rendered here, but there is no change in this URL. So this means that this communication between the browser and the server is taking place using the AJAX request. So what I have to do is I have to open the network panel and then monitor there, then look out for the AJAX request there, that through which request, through which API endpoint this browser is actually communicating with the server, and then I have to replicate the same on my local machine. So if I inspect this and I go for the network, again it will take a couple of seconds, and now see, all of these requests are actually the communications, are the what you can say backdoor communication between this browser and your server. So now what we will do, we will try to scroll down further and we will monitor that is there any changes happening in there in the request, and we will find out that these are the particular APIs, these are the particular endpoints on which our browser is hitting and fetching the data and then populating it at the bottom of the every page. Now if we just refresh this, now let's just clear this. Now we will just scroll down and see that what is the request, which is the API which the browser is following for fetching out the data. So let's just wait a couple of seconds and let it complete its pending requests. So see, all of these requests which we are seeing right now is actually the backdoor communication between the browser and the server. So this is how actually websites work, that for the first instance, the server just sent you with some basic information which is enough to engage the user for a couple of seconds. And then after sending that information, that website is asking the browser for sending requests to that server and fetch the pending information. So this is all requests taking place for the pending information. So if we just clear this again, and now if we scroll down, and let's just wait. See, this is the request. So this is the actual request which is taking place for this data. And now what we have to do is we just have to replicate that. And there are some situations where you will be actually unable to detect this, that the request will be taking place at such high pace that it is not easy for you to detect the request that which is the actual request that is getting the data from the server. So what you can do, you can use the search panel here. So over here, I know that if I squeeze this right and so this is the information actually that comes from the new page, from the new request that KL Rahul makes. So if we search this here, let me just squeeze this here and let's just say KL Rahul and I hit enter. See, it prompts me this thing. So what it is doing, if when I am searching something, it is actually looking for that thing that I entered here in the complete request that has been taking place here. And then if it finds anything related to this thing, even in some request or in some response, right? It will just highlight that here. So let's say if KL Rahul is actually, the browser is sending this text in some sort of header or in some sort of body to the server, then the browser will this search will again highlight that. And if this KL Rahul, which is our case, is being fetched from the server, is coming to the browser as a response, and then if I again hit KL Rahul search here, so browser will show this particular request, this particular API from which this communication, from which this text is coming from, it will show me here. So now if I click this here, this is my exact API which is actually communicating. So I just show you the way that if you are unable to detect the network request which is responsible for sending the data or receiving the data, you can just search the relevant information here, and then the browser, the network panel, will actually provide you all the requests here that contains this text. So right now KL Rahul is actually coming from the server to the browser, and as I searched that here, so the network panel showed me this AJAX request, showed me this network request which is actually fetching this information. So if I click here and then if I double click on that request, it will actually open this thing for me. Perfect. So this is the exact API which is responsible for fetching the information. Now if I just add one here instead of two, and then we scroll up, and if we search for the first one, that Rashid Khan BBLs. So if we just go for here, Rashid Khan BBL, see, this is the request. If we, as we hit on the page number 1, so we are getting all the stats that are being displayed on the page number 1, and then if we go for page number 2, we will get the stats of page number 2, then page number 3, and so on and so forth. So in this video we saw that how we can how we can fetch out the API which is responsible for the communication of our quiz, and in the next video we will try to extract information from this API in our IDE. Hi and welcome back. So let's just continue with the solution. So here you can see that we successfully searched for the API that is responsible for communicating data from the server to the browser. Now what we will do is we will take this response, paste this here, and then we will try to navigate that where our actual data is. Again, I'm using the same JSON editor, and here we can see that our pattern is exactly the same that was before, that we are getting a list of the stats, and if we go for the 0 and if we go for the headline, so I'm getting this headline which contains my actual data. If I go for the, let's say, 9th one or the 10th one, so this is the headline again, and I'm getting this headline. So the first headline is exactly the same, that this Rashid Khan BBL's all-time MVP, and here I can see that we are getting the same headline. Now what we have to do is we just have to take this URL and take it in the browser and take it in the IDE and hit on it and see that whether we are getting the same response as we are getting here in the IDE or not. So let's just do it. Let's just import the request first, and then go for requests.get, and then your API, and let's just take it here as well and put it in the URL, and then put the URL here, and then save it in a variable res, the response from the API, and let's just print the, okay, no, let's just save it in this variable and then print that. So now if we hit it, so see, perfect, we are getting the exact same response, we are getting the exact same JSON which we are getting here. Now what we have to do is we just have to import the JSON, and then from here we just need to load that, convert that string into the JSON. So let me just show you something, that if I go for the type here again and show you the actual type, hopefully we will be getting the str, the string type. Now to convert a JSON which is in a string format in the actual JSON, we just need to use this JSON library and then hit on data equals to JSON.loads and then the data. So now what it will do, it will actually take that data which contains the JSON as a string, and JSON.loads will actually convert that string into the actual JSON format, and then we are saving this in this data. Now as we can see here, we just need to iterate on it because these are the 9 headlines which we are getting, and then we just need to extract the headline, this one. So now if we just go for headline in data, let me just print the headline first and separate that. Now if we give it a go, so see, we are exactly getting the 9 headlines, and if we go for the first one, So this is our headline. So now what we can do after getting this print, let's just access this dictionary and let's just access this JSON and get this headline. Now if we hit it again, so instead of getting the complete JSON body, I am getting the headlines. So right now I am getting the top 10 headlines. So the quiz was to extract the top 20. So what we can do is we can just simply give it an indentation, put that in a for loop. From page number 1 I have to go to page number 2, so 1 to 3 because this one is exclusive, and then from here instead of passing a hard-coded value I will refer to I and then make it a string notation, so that I will get for the first iteration for this for loop this will be page equals to 1 and the next it will be page equals to 2, and there are 10 headlines per page, so in 2 pages I will get the 20 headlines. Now after getting this thing, let's just see that whether we are printing perfectly fine, and yeah, let's just distinguish here that our first page is completed and then we are going for the next one. So now let's just see that whether we are getting the same output or not. So perfect. So now we are getting, these are the first 10 headlines here, starting from here to here, then the dashes, these dashes, and then for the next iteration we are getting the headlines for page number 2 and then the again dashes, and as the for loop is terminated after that we are not getting any further. Now what we have to do, we just have to put that in a file. So for that again let's just give it an indentation here. Let's just remove this last line. Now what we can do, we just need to have the with open and then superstats.csv in the write mode. That's our file handler, and then over here instead of printing we just need to f.write that in the file and then f.write and add a new line. So now if we just simply give it a go, so we are getting our 20 headlines here, and again if we refer back to the folder, so here we are getting the superstats.csv. If we open that, it will open in Excel and we will be able to see our 20 headlines. So we are seeing these 20 headlines. So the reason why we are getting these, see this thing, that this thing is being added as a separate lines, as a separate column in a different column. So the reason is that we are creating a CSVs, and the CSV stands for comma separated values, and as soon as the headline is encountering a comma, see this one, all time MVP and then a comma. So if we refer here, so all time MVP up till on all time MVP we are getting data, and then as we are getting a comma it is actually just putting that in the new column. So if we have to remove that, what we can do, let's just save this headline in our variable, and then let's just do headline equals to headline dot replace. I want to replace the commas with let's say a full stop, right? This could be anything. We can even go for a pipe here as well. Now if we again give it a go, okay, I guess I have to close that first, the CSV. Okay, now the headline, and again this is the same variable, so let's just rename that as well, that underscore headline and then underscore headline, and then let's just write the underscore headline here. Now if we give it a go, so now hopefully we won't be getting any commas here, and if we open this file again, so all of this will be in the same column. See, now all of this is in the same column. So what I want you to do is to get through this, practice this on your own, and don't worry about this comma stuff, that's just a secondary thing. And if you are stuck at any point, or if you are finding anything complicated, just leave us, just let us know in the question answer session, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Hi and welcome back. In the previous videos, we tried to do some hands-on with Python request module. We tried to extract some data out from the HTML, and we also saw that how we can hit on a server and how to extract some meaningful information, meaningful codes from the response HTML. Now we will try to see that how we can extract the data in a much easy and much reliable way. So one thing you might have noticed while working with the request module is that hitting on a server and getting the response is the part one, which is easy one. But the next thing, when you want to extract some information from the HTML, that's kind of a hectic work. You have to manually firstly check that what are the elements, what are the lines, and after that you have to manually parse it and all. You have to do all that stuff on your own. So Just imagine if the data is quite complex, if you are not just looking for some codes, if you are trying to scrap some e-commerce website, or if you are trying to scrap some news website. So extracting data in that manner from that website, from such website, would be quite a task. So to help us there is a library introduced which is named as Beautiful Soup. So what Beautiful Soup does is it takes an HTML as a string, as a file in its input, and then it provides you with a tree on which you can just simply query on and get out your required data. So Beautiful Soup is a Python library for pulling data out of HTML. Right, so there is some certain data available in the HTML, and you can use Beautiful Soup to firstly put that HTML as an input to that, and then after getting all the input done, you can just simply query that HTML to extract that data out. You will notice, you will see that what I am saying in a while when we will try to do the hands-on on that. The next point is Beautiful Soup is a library that makes it easy to scrap information from web pages. It spits atop on HTML and XML parser, providing Pythonic idioms for iterating, searching, and modifying the parse tree. So what this line is saying, that it actually sits on HTML and XML parser. So there are some pre-configured parsers of HTML and XML which the Beautiful Soup uses, and when you pass an HTML file in it, it just simply parses that file using those parsers, and then it allows you to simply use Pythonic code to iterate on it, to get data from it, to extract any kind of useful information from that. So in this video, I gave you an introduction of Beautiful Soup, and now in the later video, we will try to do some hands-on on it. Hi and welcome back. So let's just have a quick quiz. So what is the major difference between request and Beautiful Soup? Now just give it a go, try to solve this, and in the next video, I will discuss the solution with you. Hi and welcome back. So let's just discuss the solution. So my question was that what is the major difference between request and Beautiful Soup? So request is responsible for fetching the data from the internet, right? So request is only responsible for fetching some data from the internet and provide you on your local machine, but it is unable to parse that. Remember that when we tried to parsing the codes and tried to parsing the author name, it was quite a job for extracting the information out of them. But the BS4 is responsible for parsing and extracting data from the HTML. So BS4 is quite handy and quite easy when it comes to parsing the data and extracting the useful data out of your HTML. So this is it from the solution. So if you are facing any problem or if you are confused with anything, let us know in the question answer section. Hi and welcome back. In the previous video, I gave you an overview of Beautiful Soup. Now we are heading towards doing some hands-on with that. One thing to remember is that I told you that Beautiful Soup is not responsible for extracting the data from the internet. It is solely responsible for parsing the data, right? So what right now I'm saying is that you have to devise a mechanism, you have to devise another way for extracting the data from the internet, for extracting the response from the internet. And after getting that response, you have to fetch out the HTML, and then you have to pass that HTML to the Beautiful Soup, and then Beautiful Soup will parse them and provide you with a tree, and then you can do query on it. So let me just take you to the code and show you what I'm saying right now. So over here, as you can notice that there is these two lines are responsible for extracting the data from the internet, for extracting the response from the server, and then extracting the HTML from that response. And then after getting that HTML as a string, what I am doing is I am trying to parse that manually. I wrote a script that was reading the file, that was reading the string, and then that was extracting the code from that. So now just imagine that instead of only getting the codes, I am also intended to get out the author information, author name, author age, going in some nested pages and fetching out further informations. Or let's say if I have to scrap some e-commerce website, or I have to scrap some news website, then you can imagine then fetching out information from those kind of websites by writing my own parser would be quite a time consuming thing. So what we will do right now is that we will use this section for extracting the HTML from the internet, and then instead of using this thing, what I will do, I will use the Beautiful Soup for extracting the data from that HTML. So right now, let's just go for the other script. And I told you earlier that if you are using some third-party libraries, like we used request earlier, we are using Beautiful Soup now, and later we will use Scrapy and Selenium as well. So all these third-party libraries and modules are not pre-available in the Python. So before importing them, you have to install them as well. So you just have to go to your terminal and say pip3 install bs4 and it will start installing the beautiful soup. It will actually take a couple of minutes, and after that installing, you can refer back here. I'm not hitting enter on it because I have that pre-installed. So over here, what I have to do is I have to just simply say from bs4 import beautiful soup, and then beautiful soup a function. Then over here you will pass the HTML, you will pass the HTML string that you need to parse, and then over here you have to tell the beautiful soup that whether this passing string is an HTML, is a XML, or any other different format. So you just have to say HTML.parse, and it will consider that as an HTML file, and then you just have to simply parse that. So over here, if we take these two lines and this URL, let's just copy this URL from here, paste this here, and now if I pass let's just say r.text and assign it to HTML, and then over here let's just pass this HTML over here and get it in a soup. Now if I just simply print the soup, now let's see what we get. Let's just hit enter on it. HTML.parser, I guess there is a typo in it. This should be not parse, it should be parser. Yeah, because we are assigning it a parser. So now if we hit enter again, so see, we are getting the same HTML, but the difference among that is, let me just show you. So if I come over here and I say print and the type of HTML, and over here let's just say the type of this thing. Now if we hit enter, so see, this actually, when the HTML is actually a string, but this same thing is being now converted to a tree, which is this soup, and now when I'm printing its type, I'm getting bs4.beautiful soup. So this is a conversion of a HTML string, of a string which contains the HTML, as a tree on which you can now do query and all that stuff, and we will see that in the later video. So up till here we have seen that how we can use beautiful soup for converting a HTML string to a tree, and now in the next videos we will see that how we can use that tree to extract the meaningful information from that. Hi and welcome back. In the previous video, we just get started with the beautiful soup. Now let's just explore this further and see that how we can extract more information from the created soup. So here, recalling from the previous recording that we use this HTML string, and then we passed it the parser because it is an HTML file, so we have to specify HTML parser, and then this beautiful soup is actually creating a soup for us, and now we can extract further information from this soup. So let's just remove this. And coming back here, if we hit Ctrl U or right click and go to page source code, so see, there are all the tags available in this page. So let's say this is a div tag, this is a h2 tag, and if we come back up, this is a title tag, this is a link tag, and these let's say if I'm talking about this thing, so this head is a tag, and there are some children of that. So these are all the children of the head tag, and if I am talking about this, let's say for this title tag, right, there is no children of title tag, but there is a parent of this title tag, which is this head tag. So it is a two-way relationship that a parent can have children and a child can have parent, and if we go for up and up, so there could be grandparents as well. So, and vice versa, there could be grandchildren as well. So over here, if we try to extract this title tag, so what we can do is we just need to hit the soup, and then we just need to hit the tag from which we want to get the data. So let's just print this and Python bs4.py, hit enter. So this is the title which I was talking about. So I do not have to write any for loop, or I do not have to iterate on each line by line and then check that if the particular line contains this tag, then just print me this thing, or else just go it on and on. The only thing I did was I just considered this soup, and then I asked it for a tag, and it provided me the information of that. So instead of title, if we go for a thing that, let's say if I go for h2, there are some h2s there. Okay. So there is only one h2. If we, let's say I want to see some repeating elements, we can go for span, I guess. Yeah, so there are certain spans. So if we just click on the span type, come here and put this here, and now if we hit it, so we are getting now the first span, right? So the thing is that if you just simply type the span, how the soup will work, it will eventually provides you with the first occurrence of that tag. So if there are right now, if we come back here and we hit span, so there are 32 spans right now, but the only thing which we are getting right now is the first span. Later we will see that how we can extract all the spans out of there, or else if you want to extract not the span, if you want to extract all the anchor tags, if you want to extract all the headers, all such information, we will see later that how we can extract all the tags from there. But the thing I want to highlight here is that if you are just simply saying span soup.span or soup.div or soup.title, it will only provide you with the first occurrence of that. So over here the first occurrence is only this tag with this code. So let's just head back to the title, and now, so after hitting it again, so I'm getting this thing. Now remember from the last thing that after getting the required line, I have to remove these titles from manually. But now what I can do is I can just simply say string, hit enter, and it will convert this code into a string. So now what is happening is, what this dot string is doing, it is actually converting the complete tag and extracting the strings from it, extracting the text from it, and then just displaying the text to me. So now let's just see that if we have to head on towards the parent of this tag, what we can do. So again, it would be quite simple. If we say, let's just keep this as it is and say print soup.title dot parent, and then parent dot name. Okay, let's just do first the parent, and then I will show you the difference between parent and parent dot name. Okay. So this is the first thing which I'm getting the quotation, the codes to scrap, which is this line. Then this thing. So what is happening now is quite crucial for you to understand. So I am referring to this title, right? This thing in this line, soup.title, and then I'm asking it for the parent. So this is the complete parent. So this is the parent, and this is the complete body of the parent. So this is what I am getting here, right? So if I only want to get the name of the parent, I can just simply put the name here, and if I hit it again, see, now I'm getting the head name, that the parent is the parent was actually a head tag. So here, after getting the information, you can further go nested and get all the siblings and all that information. We will see that in the later video as well. So now one thing more I want to highlight, let's just comment this here. If I say print and soup dot find all, and then over here I can simply pass the anchor tag. It will extract all the anchor tags for me. I can pass span, and it will extract all the span tags for me. So if I just simply, let's just check it for the span first. See, now it has extracted all the span tags for me. So these actually it is not clear right now for you to see, but we are getting the spans right now. And if we go for the anchor tags, we will be getting the anchor tags. Perfect. So now let's just devise a way to iterate on it and see it clearly that what we are getting. For tag in the tags, let's just print the tag. Come back here, hit it again. Perfect. Now we are getting the anchor tags, and now we can use this tag to extract the href and further as well. We will see that in the later videos. So right now what I am doing is that this soup.findAll, what this thing is doing, it is actually creating or not creating, it is actually extracting the anchor tags from this HTML, which with this soup is created out of it. It is extracting the anchor tags from, it is creating a list of anchor tags from that HTML, and then I'm just iterating on it and I'm printing the tag. So in this video, we just saw that after converting the HTML string into a beautiful soup tree, how we can extract the relevant information from that, how we can just simply go for a tag and look out for its information. And if we want to extract all the tags related, all the tags associated with that, we can just simply use .findAll for that as well. So this is pretty much it from this video. In the next video, we will try to explore further about beautiful soup. And welcome back. Now we are heading towards winding up the course.toScrap website, and now we will try to extract the code from that website by using beautiful soup, and then we will try to explore some further websites and try to scrap data from them as well. So without wasting any time, let's just go in the IDE. And here in the last video, I told you that you can iterate on any tag just by providing it in soup.findAll and then the name of the tag, and it will provide you a list of those tags, and then you can just simply iterate on it using for loop, and then you can print that information. Now what we have to do is we will try to extract the codes from there. So coming back to the website, if we just simply search the span, so this is a span that contains the code, right? So this is also another span, but this span does not contain the code. This is the information of the author. So what we will do right now, we will try to extract data from the span, and then we will see that how it is causing us problems. So over here, if we go for this one, and instead of passing that a, let's just comment this out. And over here, if we say for tag in soup.findAll, and over here, let's just pass the span. And then if I'm just printing the tag, now if I give it a go, so now I'm getting the span. Let me just add a delimiter here as well so that you can see it in a better way. Perfect. So now I am getting that codes as well, but there are some other text as well. See, this is also a span and it encloses some other information which I really do not want. So for that, what we can do is notice something, that this thing over here, this span actually over here contains a class of text, right? So every span that has the code has actually the class as text. So this is the thing that you have to do manually while looking into the HTML, that what are the specifics for that particular data that you want to extract. So if I want to extract the codes, then I have to look for the HTML and devise a way that, okay, if I have to come to that data, so which part do I have to follow? So all of this information, you have to gather that on your own, and then you have to write the code for extracting that. Later in this series, I will also told you about the CSS selectors. We will do some hands-on on that as well before moving on some advanced extraction steps, so that it will help you much more in defining your paths to that relevant data. So over here, now we are clear that this span with this class text has the only thing that contains that our relevant data. If we hit on it, so see, this is the highlighted text and it contains the code. It contains the code, so on and so forth. So these are actually 5 out of 10. So this means that there are 10 codes on the page. So we are on the right track. So we will be actually getting the codes if we just simply hit this way. So what we have to do over here, that after passing the span, now I have to pass him some of the attributes values with it. So over here, if you are familiar with HTML, you know what I'm saying, that this is a span. And in this span, these are all the attributes associated with this span. So there is a class attribute, there is an item prop attribute. So what I will do, I will use this class attribute whose value is text. So to write that, what we have to do is we have to pass a dictionary over here. You have to specify the attribute name which you want to refer, and then you want to specify the value of that attribute. So if there are some other spans that have class attribute with the value of, let's say, ABC, then those spans will not be considered in this for loop, because right now what I am saying is I am asking the soup to find all the elements who are span plus who has the class attribute whose value is text. This is what I am saying right now. So if I hit it again, so see, now I am only getting the codes, I'm not getting any other information. So after getting this, if I just simply convert it into string, I just simply want to get the data from it, I just use the dot string and hit it again. Yeah, perfect. Now I'm only getting the codes. So after getting the codes, I can write them in a file as well. So let's just say with open ps4 codes.txt as writing as f, the file handler, and then instead of printing that, let's just do f.write. And again, as I mentioned earlier, that you have to put a new line there as well. Okay, now let me just show you something. If I remove this thing as well, put it here. So these two things actually are exactly doing the same thing, right? If I run this, I guess I have to specify the encoding here as well, or no, it works. So if I go for the bs4 codes.txt, I'm getting the codes, and then you can remove this thing as well from there. But the thing is that this thing over here is actually doing the same thing, which is this thing. So but the issue with that is the doing the extracting the data by this mechanism is quite hectic. You have to do a lot of hustle to extract the data out. But via using this thing, it's quite handy. You just need to specify you just need to create the soup of the HTML. You just need to create the tree of the HTML, and then you just simply good to go with soup.findAll, the relevant element, the attributes if you want to associate with that for searching, and then you get the data and you can do whatever you want with it. So this is pretty much simple as compared to the previous one. So in this video, we have tried to extract the codes from the course.toScrap HTML and did a comparison analysis with the request module and with the beautiful soup. In the next video, we will try to explore another website using beautiful soup, and we will try to fetch data from there as well. Hi and welcome back. So let's just have a quick quiz. So here on the course.toscrap.com website, you can see that in each div there is a quotation along with the name of the author. So now what I want you to do is to extract the author names from each of the div and put it in a CSV file. So try solving this, give it a go, and in the next video I will discuss the solution with you. Hi and welcome back. So let's just discuss the solution of the quiz. So the quiz question was that from each of these divs, instead of extracting the codes, I asked you to extract the author names. So the solution was quite simple for this, that instead of referring to that span that contains the codes, we have to refer to the span or the div or the tag that contains our author's name. So for that, let's just head towards the IDE, and over here, let's just import the request first and then request.get. Now hit on that request for extracting the HTML from this page. Save it in a variable, the response from that request, and then extract the HTML. And now we have to create the beautiful soup out of it. So here we have to import the beautiful soup first. Then here, let's just go for beautiful soup, provide the HTML to parse. Then the parser information which we want to use. So we want to use the HTML.parser. Let's just save it in the soup variable. Now what I want to do is I want to just simply see that what are the tags that contains the codes that contains the author's information. So for that we just have to print that first, and after that we will try to see that what are the actual tags that contains our that encloses our code. So let's just comment this out for now and say for line in HTML dot split it on the basis of \n, so that we get each line for each iteration, and then let's just print the line, and for separation let's just print some dashes delimiters. Now if we give it a go, so now if we head back on it, okay, so notice this was the actual tag that contains our code, right? So it was span with the class text. Now here notice something, that this is a small tag with the class author, right? And this is the name of the author. So instead of referring to quotations based upon the span and class text, we will refer to author based upon the small and class author. So here what we have to do is let's just eliminate this line, eliminate this one. So after creating the soup, we just have to say soup.findAll. Now we have to find this small tag with the class, and the name of the class would be author. And now let's just iterate over it for tag in this. For right now, let's just print the tag first, and then we will see that whether how can we extract the information. So perfect, now we are getting only the tags that contains our author's name. So as I told you that you just have to do dot string to extract the text out of the text. So if we go for string here, if we again give it a go, perfect, now we are getting the names of the authors. So the next part of the quiz was to put the name of the authors in the CSV file, author names.csv, or you could name it anything. So what we have to do is we just have to give it a tab. Over here we just have to now open the file, the author names.csv. As we are writing it, so we just put the flag W and the file handler F, and over here instead of printing we will just do f.write to put that thing in the file. And again, to distinguish the lines, we have to add a \n here. Now if we give it a go, If we open this file, we are getting the author names. And now if we open that file in the Explorer, and here if we go for the CSV, it will open in Excel, and you can see we are getting the author names here. Perfect. So this is pretty much it from the solution section. If you are confused at anything, or if you want to discuss anything, just let us know in the question answer section, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Hi and welcome back. So before moving on some other websites, let's just explore Beautiful Soup in more details. So here, this is the last code that we wrote. So here, one thing I would like to highlight again, that this is the Beautiful Soup function that is creating the soup for us, on which we are just hitting on and extracting the data. So this only requires this HTML as a string. So it does, the getting data from the internet is not actually necessity of this thing. We can pass here, let's say, a simple HTML as well, like some say a bold tag, right? So it doesn't matter that what HTML you are passing it. It just need a HTML as a string and the parser element, and it will parse that complete HTML for you and provide you the soup for you to query on it. So now what we will do is, instead of always fetching data from the internet and wait for a couple of seconds for the response to get to us, what we will do is we will write our own simple versions of HTML, and then we will try to explore Beautiful Soup on that. So for the first thing, what we will do is we will try to explore the attributes associated with the HTML tags. So for those who are not familiar with attributes in HTML, so let's say I have a B tag, and this there are some text in it, hello world, right? So this thing over here, if I write anything over here, this will be considered as the attributes of the B tag. So if I put ID here and let's say XYZ, so this ID is considered as the attribute of B tag. If I put a class here and I name it ABC, so this attribute, this class attribute, is actually associated with this B. So this is an attribute of tag B. So you can say that all of these two, the ID, the class, and there could be anything further like selected or not, like disabled, and there could be number of attributes associated with a tag. So all of these things will be considered as the attributes of the B tag. So now if I access this B in a Beautiful Soup, I have access to all of them. So now let's just see that. So before starting, we need to import BS4. And then we need to use this function Beautiful Soup, and over here we just need to provide the HTML. Let's just cut this out, save this in a variable HTML, and this will be a string. Now I just need to pass the HTML here, and then I need to specify the parser. So right now I know that my file is that my string is HTML, so I just need to put the HTML parser here, and it will provide me with a soup. Right now, if I just simply print the soup, and if we go for Python and BS4 exploration.py, if we hit enter, so this is the thing which I'm getting right now, right? If there were other tags as well, let's say if there are some spans here, okay. So if I hit again, so this is what I'm getting. I'm getting the B, then I'm getting the first span, and then I'm getting the second span. So right now I just need the B tags from there. What I can do is I can specify them as soup.b, so it will only provide me with the B tags. Now if I just print the tag, hit enter, so this is what I'm getting. Right, again, as I told you earlier, that if you want to extract the data, if you want to extract the text from that, you can just simply go for the string and it will provide you the text from there. Perfect. Now what we were actually looking for, we were trying to explore the attributes associated with the tag. So now if we just simply put the ID here, so this is the proper way of getting to the attribute, right? You just need to put the braces and then the name of the attribute which you want to access. So right now it will access this thing. See, I'm getting the XYZ. Then if I put the class, let me just comment this out, and tag and the class. Now if I give it a go, see, now I'm getting the class. The reason why I'm getting the class as a list and ID as a single string, I will explain that in the next video, that these are the multi-valued attributes and this is a single value attributes. I will explore that with you in the next series. Now after getting the ID and the class, there is an other function, there is another attribute associated with the tag that will provide us the dictionary of all the attributes associated with that tag. So what I'm saying is that if I go for the tag, and then if I go for the dot attributes, Now if I hit enter, so it provides me a dictionary with the key value pair of attribute, its value, attribute, its value, right? And then I can further explore it if I want to check that a particular attribute is available there or not. I can do anything with that just by doing something in just simple writing Python code. So this is also a pretty handy feature that this provides you a list of a dictionary of all the elements, all the attributes associated with that particular element. Now, one more thing is that you can not only read the value of the attribute in Beautiful Soup, you can also manipulate it. You can also change that. So if I go for print, no, sorry, we don't need print right now. We just need tag and then the ID, and let's just put it equals to hello. So let me just print the tag value first, and then after manipulating its value, now print the tag again. So if we hit enter, so see, the first one is the ID is XYZ and the rest is the same. But for the second one, as we have changed its value, right? So now its ID is hello and the rest is the same. Also, just like that, we can manipulate the value of class as well. Like say if we need to put the class here, and we can say WORLD. Now my class is just the world. So instead of ABC, it's the world. So in that manner, you can actually manipulate the attribute values of the HTML tag. So this is also quite handy that there are some use cases in data scraping that let's say you want to read data, you want to extract data from some table rows, and there is a class associated with that table row ABC, right? And the table rows are going in pattern, but suddenly there are some table rows which do not have that class associated with them, or that have a class but it's not ABC. So instead of writing a separate set of code for those, what you can do is you can manipulate their value, and instead of their class whatever they are, you can change them to ABC, just like we did here the world. You can normalize the classes, and then all the table rows will be following the same class pattern, and then you can extract data using the same flow. You do not have to specify a separate flow for that. You can just normalize the classes first. You can just unify the names of the classes of those tags, and then you can extract data from there. So in this video, we explored the attributes associated with the HTML tags, and also we saw that how we can manipulate their values using the Beautiful Soup, and also how we can extract them. In the next video, we will try to explore the multi-valued attributes in detail. Same flow. You do not have to specify a separate flow for that. You can just normalize the classes first. You can just unify the names of the classes of those tags, and then you can extract data from there. So in this video, we explored the attributes associated with the HTML tags, and also we saw that how we can manipulate their values using the Beautiful Soup, and also how we can extract them. In the next video, we will try to explore the multi-valued attributes in detail. Hi and welcome back. So in the previous video, I gave you an overview of attributes related to the HTML tags. Now we are going to explore about multi-valued attributes. So heading back to the previous code that we wrote, so one thing you must have to remember is that there are certain parameters that are set by HTML5 that some list of attributes can be multi-valued and the others cannot. So let's say if I take the example of this ID, so you are familiar that the ID is unique and it is associated with only one tag. So the ID is not a multi-valued attribute. But on the other hand, if we go for the classes, so classes can be a multi-valued attributes and cannot be. But the default rule is the class is a multi-valued attribute, because a class, you can associate multiple classes with this class attribute, and whether they are associated with some CSS selector, some JavaScript stuff, but you can associate multiple classes here. That if I say ABC, I can also go for XYZ. So both of these classes are now associated with this class. Now if I just go for printing it, and then if I go for the class, I'm getting the ABC. And now if I add a new class there, let's say 123. Now if I give it a go, see, now I'm getting ABC and 123. So this means that the classes are basically the multi-valued attributes, and you can consider putting multiple values in that, right? So let's say if you want to tag a HTML tag with some other classes instead of the available one, you can do that as well. No, it will not override the previous one, but it will just simply get you with the new ones as well. And also there are some examples in which you do not require the attributes to act as a multi-valued attribute. So here the Beautiful Soup also provides you something which is known as multi-valued attributes. Let me just check the spellings again. multy valued, ATTRIBUT. Perfect. Now I can make it as if multi-valued attributes, I set them none in the constructor. What it will do, it will then consider all the HTML element tags, all the HTML element tag for their all the attributes will be considered as multi-valued equals to none. So no matter whether they are considered as multi-valued by the HTML or not, if we pass this flag, if we pass this variable here, all the tags, all their attributes will be considered as single valued. So if I go for the class now, if I print it, see, now instead of getting a list, I am getting a single valued attribute. So here, this is quite handy when you have the use case like you want to associate multiple classes with the HTML tag, right? Or if you want to just and simply remove the multiple classes, you want to consider it as a single valued class or a single valued attribute, then you can use this one, or else you can just simply go for the trivial one. So in this video, I gave you an idea of multi-valued attributes, and we did a comparison it with the single valued attributes. In the next videos, we will try to explore Beautiful Soup in further details. Hi and welcome back. So now we are heading towards scraping IMDb website, and from that website we will try to scrap top 250 movies along with some other information available on the page. So let's just go on the Chrome and search IMDb top movies. Click the first link. So this is the link to the top 250 movies of IMDb. And now what we will do is firstly, we will try to hit this URL using the request module, and after getting the HTML as a response, we will try to parse that using the Beautiful Soup, and we will try to extract the name of the movies and the year. So going back to the IDE, over here, the first thing is we need to import the request, and then request.get, and in this method we have to pass this URL. And now let's just check that whether we are getting the response properly or not. As I explained you earlier, that whenever you are trying to scrap any website, whenever you're trying to extract data from any website, it is crucial to check that whether you are getting the data or not. So the first thing to do is always check the status code, that whether it is 200 or not. So if it is 200, then that means that the connection is successful and we can successfully communicate with the server. But if we are getting some other status code, which we will see in the future videos, that if we came across 400 or 302, then how we can gather that. But right now, let's just check the status code here, and yeah, perfect. I'm getting the 200 response, which means I can successfully communicate with this website and I can extract data from there. Okay. Now, as we did earlier, that HTML equals to r.text. Okay. Now it will provide us with the text that is that this response is providing us, the HTML text that this response is providing us, and then we will need to import the Beautiful Soup from BS4 import Beautiful Soup. Now in this constructor, in this function, we will try to hit this HTML and try to parse this, and then as it is HTML parser, we just need to mention HTML.parser, and then let's just save it in a soup. So now here you have to develop the understanding of how you can extract data from the HTML. The source code is there, right? But looking in here is kind of a hectic job, right? So this data is not properly formatted, and reading or finding out some information from here is quite difficult. So what we can do instead is we can just simply hover over this and click inspect. Now you just have to develop the habit for data scraping, that you have to understand the structure of the website. So if I just zoom this out a bit. Okay, so here you can see that this is a complete table row. The thing I'm selecting here is being highlighted here. So this is the table row. Let me just close this. So actually this is the table row, this is next table row, this is next table row. So what we have to do is we will try to access these table rows first, and after getting the access of each table row, we will try to get access to this table data, which contains this class title column, because in this table data we have an anchor tag, and inside that anchor tag we have the name. So the structure is that there is a table body. This table body has several table rows, and for each table row we need to get into this table data, the second table data, and then we need to extract this anchor tag's text. So what we can do over here is, so we can just simply go for soup.find, And the first thing I want to find is I want to get to this table body. Let me just close this because this table body actually contains this complete data. So first thing I have to go to this table body. So this thing, what I have to do is, as I mentioned earlier, let me just open this for you over here, that if we have to get to the span that has this particular properties, so this is the syntax for doing that. Find all means that I want to get all the spans, and find will only select the first one. As there is only one table body, so we just need to do the find here. Find, and here you just need to put the name of the tag tbody, and then comma, and then what I'm expecting is I'm expecting a class and listed list. So I want to look for the class attribute with the value listed list. So what this will do, it will actually provide me the selector, the soup for this table body. Let me just name it in a variable, table body equals to this thing. Perfect. So up till here, what we have done so far is I created the soup from this HTML that I'm getting from this URL. And after creating the soup, I'm saying that I want to find a table body in that soup that has these particular classes. So this is actually, it will refer to this thing. So now if we give it a go, actually it is actually meaningless right now for giving it a go, because it would be a heck of HTML and it will be difficult for us to understand this. But let's just give it a go and see what we get. Now if we hit enter, okay, it was IMDb, sorry. Yeah, perfect. So this is actually, see, this is the closing table body tag, and if we go on the top, hopefully there will be a starting table body tag. Actually, I think they missed it. The terminal missed that, but hopefully this table body is actually providing us with this table body data. This one, if I close this complete. Now after getting this, what I have to do is I have to get access to all of the table rows first. So I can do table body, and then I can go for find all, because if I go for find, it will only provide me with the first table row. But right now I want to get to all of the table rows, so I will pass this row, as there is no particular class associated with that, so we can just simply go for the table rows. So table rows here, TRS, I'm putting TRS to just specify table rows, that they are in plural. And then after getting the table rows, what we can do is we can just simply iterate on it. We can say for table row in table rows. So for each iteration, it will provide me this, for each iteration, it will provide me each table row. So for the first iteration, it will give me this table row, then it will give me this table row, then it will give me this, and so on and so forth. So now if I just simply print the, let's say, TR, and then after getting to the TR, what I need to do is, when I get this TR, I need to get to this TD with this particular class. So what I can do, I can say TR dot find, and what I want to find. So one thing to remember here is, to notice here is that this find is only searching in its attached soup. So if I search, if I have this soup of complete HTML and then I do find, it will search in this complete body. It will search in this complete soup. Now after getting the table body, as I search for this one, now if I'm applying anything, if I'm finding anything, it is only limited to this table body. It is only limited to that soup. Now after getting this, I am getting the table rows, and then from the table rows, I am extracting table row for each iteration. So whenever whatever I'm finding here is only limited to this section, this table row, from here to here for each iteration. So now if I go for find, and what I have to find is, I have to find for a table data, and see there are number of table data. This is a table data. If I just simply go for table data, it will provide me with all of these table data, right? And right now I'm going for find only, so it will only provide me the first one. But I want the table data with this class title column. So what I can do, I can exactly replicate the same thing which I did earlier, that I provide the tag and then I associate an attribute with it. So I am providing the table data tag within this table row, and then I'm asking it to get to the class with this title column, right? So now it will provide me access to this thing. And after getting this access, as I showed you earlier, that after getting access to anything, you can just simply go for dot and it will provide you its attribute. So if I just go for this one, and let me just save this here, because it's now a table data. Let's just cut it from this and table data and this one. And now if I go for table data, now I am referring to this one, only this. And if I go for table data dot a, so this means I am referring to this table data as a. And then if I just simply print this table data dot a and then this string. So now if I give it a go, I mentioned this earlier that this string is responsible for extracting the text out of the tag. So now if I give it a go, perfect, I'm getting the name of the movies. See? Yeah, I'm getting the name of the movies. Perfect. Now, what we have to do is we also have to figure out the year of the movie as well. So again, we are referring to the same table data because we get to this table data using this statement. And now what we will do is we will go for table data dot. We have to refer to this span. Right now, we do not need to specify the class because there is only one span available in here. So if I'm referring to td.span, it is only referred to this one because I have narrowed down my soup only to this table data in this statement. So this statement narrowed down my soup to only this table data. And now if I'm referring to td.a, I'm referring to this one. And if I'm referring from td.span, I'm referring to this one. Now if I go for td.span and from the span, I want the text again. So I will go for the string. Now if I give it a go, perfect. I'm getting the name of the movie plus I'm getting the year. So let me just again give you a quick recap because this stuff for some of you could be tricky. What I'm doing right now is that this statement, okay, let's start from the start. So this statement is responsible for hitting on this URL and providing you with this complete HTML. So here I got this res and then from this res I'm extracting the HTML and saving it in the HTML variable. After that, this is the first step. The next step is I'm creating a soup out of it. So you can say I'm creating a parsing tree out of it. So here I'm passing this HTML, which is the HTML as a string, and then I'm passing it the parser name html.parser. What it will do, this will provide me a soup of this complete tree, this complete HTML. Right? Then what I'm doing is I'm extracting the table body, this one. So what I'm saying, I'm referring to this soup, then I'm saying that find the table body with that particular class. So what it will do, it will provide me with a table body, which is this one. So now my soup is actually equal to this thing. Right now, further I'm referring to table body. So my soup is actually narrowed down to table body, and the table body is responsible for accessing anything between this table body. So now let's say if there is another div here, right, and there is a div present in this table body as well, this div, and there is a div inside there. So now if I go for tbody.div, it will only consider the divs that are present inside this tbody. It will not consider this div. So now after coming inside this, what I'm doing is I figured it out that the table rows are the stuff that contains the actual data. Now what I did, I just extracted the table rows out of it. I hit on table tbody and then I go for find all. So as I mentioned earlier, that find is responsible for giving you only the first occurrence, and the find all is responsible for providing you all the occurrences of this particular tag. Now I just asked the table body to provide me with all the tags of table rows. So here are the TRs. So now what TRs is equal to, TRs contains this tag, this is a list of TRs including these all elements, right? So if I technically if I go for TRs of 0, let me just scroll, TRs of 0, it will be this one. If I go for TRs of 1, it will be this one, TRs of 2, TRs of 3, TRs of 4. So these are all the table rows that are being available in this TRs as a list. Now what I'm doing is I'm just iterating over it. So for the first iteration for TR in TRs, I will be getting this table row. Right? For the next iteration, I will be getting this. For the next, I will be getting this. For this, and so on and so forth. So let's just hit on the couple of iterations. So for the first iteration, I will be getting this table row as I run through this statement, that for TR in TRs. So it will provide me this table row. Perfect. After getting in this table row, what I'm saying now, this TR is right now referring to this table row. Then I'm saying tr.find. I want you to find what I want you to find. I want you to find a table data with the class title column. So again, it will look only into this table row. As I mentioned that when you narrow down a soup, it will only refer to that. As I mentioned earlier that if I narrow down to table body and then I go for a div, it will not consider this div. It will only consider the divs that are present inside this table body. So now I am only referring to this table table row. So it will only access, it will only provide me the table data from these table row elements. So if I go for the table data and with the class title column, it provide me this one. Let me just hide this. inside this table row, I'm now right now inside this table row for the first iteration. Then if I go for simple td, for find td, it will give me this one. And if I go for find all TDs, it will give me all of these. But the only thing I want right now, I want this second one. So the solution is I can go for the find, tr.find. Then I pass the name that I want the table data. And then I can pass this, I can specify the class that I want table data that has that particular class. So next thing is, after getting the table data, what I am doing, I am trying to extract I'm referring to this table data, TD, over here. And then, because I mentioned here that I want to get this table data, then this table data is this one, and I'm saying that td.a, which means I'm referring to this anchor tag, and then I'm converting it into string for getting the text, and then table data.span.string is responsible for table data, this span inside this table data, and this string, and then table data is being entered. So this is the behavior for the first iteration. Same is follows for the next iteration. For the next iteration, the tr will be equal to this thing. And after getting into this, what I'm saying that I want to find only that table data that is responsive, that contains this class. So it will only get me to this. And after getting into this, what I'm doing, I'm saying td.a.string, td.span.string to get this anchor tags data and this man tag data. After that, it will go for the third table row, for the fourth, for the fifth, and eventually it will scrap all the table rows, and it will provide me with the table movies and their years. So now if I again give it a go, perfect. So hopefully you get this through. In this video, I told you about extracting movie names and movie years from the IMDb table, from the IMDb website. And in the future videos, we will try to extract some more information available on that page. Hi and welcome back. So let's just have a quick quiz. Now I want you to extract the rating along with the name and year of the IMDb top 250 movies. So let's just get to the website first. So here you can see that we can have the movie name from here, we can have the year of the movie, and then we can have the rating from this position. Now what I want you to do, to show me the movie name, the year of the movie, and its rating. These all three values should be comma separated, and you have to create a CSV file of this. Now give it a go, try solving the solution, and in the next video I will come up with the solution. Hi and welcome back. So let's just head towards discussing the solution of the quiz. So the question was that instead of only fetching the name and year of the movie, I asked you to fetch the movie rating as well. So if we go for the IDE, let's just do the import first, and then request.get, hit on that URL to get the HTML for that, and paste this here, save it in a response variable, and then HTML equals to res.text to get the HTML out, and then create the beautiful soup out of it. We have to import the BS4 first. From BS4, import beautiful soup, and then let's just create the soup. Beautiful soup, HTML, and then the name of the parser, which will be html.parser, and let's just save it in a variable soup. Now let's just head on the website and understand the structure of our required data. So more or less it is exactly the same thing that we did in the last video, that we have to head on to this chunk, head on to this div, and then we have to extract this and this data. So if we inspect this again, so here we can see that we can get onto this table body, and after getting on this table body, we will head on for the table rows, and after getting in the table rows, we will head on to this chunk for extracting the movie name and the year, and we can head on to this chunk for this table data to get the movie rating. So what we can do, so let's just hit and extract the table body. Table body equals to soup.find, and here you can see that our table body is in the class lister list. Let's just copy this out. And here, this thing, okay, sorry, we have to mention the t body here, and then the dictionary that contains the class, the attribute name, and the value of the attributes which we want to look for. And now what this line of code will do, it will actually extract the table body from the soup whose class is lister list and assign it in the t body. Then we have to extract all the table rows out of this t body. So again, we will be doing the same thing. Let's just do tr equals to T body, because now we are narrowing down our soup to only table body. So which it's better to extract data from T body instead of going on soup. So T body dot find. And now we will go for all. Here we go for find because there is only one table body available in the HTML. Now if we have to go for the find all because there are multiple table rows available inside that table body on which we are applying the find all. So here we will go for find all, and then we can specify the table rows here, and it will extract all the table rows that are present inside this table body. Then what we have to do, we just have to iterate over it. For tr in table rows, let's just simply extract the table data, required table data out of this particular table row. So as I explained earlier, that table rows actually now contain all of the table rows available here. So table rows actually contains this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, so on and so forth. So now when we are iterating, for the first iteration, we are getting this table row, and then inside this table row, we are extracting this particular table data because this contains our relevant information for movie name and movie year. And after that, we will try extracting this data as well. So here, if we go for, instead of just naming it simple TD, I think we should name it movie TD. Movie name TD. Okay. So now here, what we have to do, we just have to specify the table row again, and then we have to go for the file. So table row dot find. So as we are again I'm explaining the same thing, that now we are applying dot find on table row. So our soup is being narrowed down to table row here. So now in this table row, I want to extract the table data, this table data that contains this class title column. So then it will actually be limited to only this thing, and we can extract the data from there. So here if we go for table row, then for the class, we can go for this thing. And now instead of only getting this thing, we have to get the next table data as well. So we have to hit on to this one as well. So let's just see that there are two classes associated with that. We can go for any one of them. We can just simply go for the first one, rating column or IMDb rating. Let's just go for rating column here. Copy this. And now let's just say rating table data equals to the same as the above, tr.find. And over here we are fetching this table data, this one, whose class is rating column. So here comes the class, and this is the class class name. So up till here we have figured out a way that how we can access the movie name table data and how we can access the rating table data. In the next video, we will try to extract our movie name, year and rating out of this. Hi and welcome back. So let's just continue with this solution. So up till now, we have successfully considered getting out the table data that contains our movie name and the year, and also the other table data that contains our rating. Now what we have to do is we have to see that amongst that inside this table data, what are the tags that contains our actual data. So here if we go, so again inside this table body, we are getting some table rows, and for the first iteration, as we will be heading on this table row, so let's just open that, and here you can see that this is the first table, this is the second table data which we actually want, and this is the third table data which we actually want for extracting the data. And we have successfully get up to here that we are extracting the movie name TD and we are getting the rating TD. So now let's just extract the movie name and the movie year from movie name table data, print that, and then go for the rating. So here let's just print this dot. Now we know that this table data, inside this table data, we have an anchor tag A, and inside that anchor tag we have our name of the movie. So if we go for simply A, and then if we go for string, it will provide us with the name of the movie. Now after getting that, if we go for movie name TD dot, now we can see that inside that span we are getting this year. Again, we don't have to specify the class because inside we are using find inside. We extracted the movie name TD from this table row. So movie name TD is only limited to this section. And now if I am going for the span, it will only consider this TD for extracting the span, not the entire HTML. So if I go for this, and if I go for dot span and then dot string, so it will provide me hopefully with the name of the movie from here and year of the movie here. And then if we get successfully up till here, we will try extracting the rating of that movie. So again, give it a go. So we are getting the name of the movie and also we are getting the year. Now what we have to do is we have to devise a way by which we can extract the rating. So here you can see that inside this third table data, this one which we extracted in this rating TD, we can see that there is a strong tag, and inside that tag we are getting the rating. So if we just simply go for this thing dot small dot string, so we are head TD is providing the rating TD is actually providing us with this table data, and then we are heading on the strong and then we are heading on the string. So we will get the rating. So this is strong. Now if we hit on it again, so now hopefully we will be getting the movie name, the year of the movie along with its rating, and then we will try to put that in a CSV file and save that in it. So perfect. Now we are getting the name of the movie, we are getting the year of the movie, and we are getting the rating of the movie. Now what we have to do is we just have to simply put that in the CSV file. So for that it's quite simple. Let's just give it a tab, and over here let's just say with open and then the name of the file .csv, and then the writing flag, because we are writing that file as f, our file handler, and instead of printing that we will just simply go for f.write. Now the first thing we will write is this thing, then we want to add another string. So here comes the other string with the comma, then this string, then our other string with the comma, and then this one. And after getting that, let's just give it a \n. So now if we hit it again, hopefully we will be getting our data in this file. So hit that again. So now if we open that file, so we are getting the movie name, we are getting the year of the movie, and we are getting the rating. So if we open that in the Excel, so here in the Windows, if we open that in the Excel sheet, so now I'm getting the movie name. There are some issues with the formatting of the Excel. We don't have to worry about that because that totally specifies on your settings with Excel. I have my Excel pre-configured for this setting, but see, we are getting the movie name, we are getting the year, and we are getting the rating. Okay, so actually this is the abnormality here, and if we go for the movie number 9 here, hopefully that movie will have commas in it. See, this movie actually has the commas in it, so that's why it actually put that thing in the next one. So what we can do is we can just simply replace the string with the, instead of comma, we can replace that with the pipes, and we will be getting the exact movie name there in the column, and then in the next column we will be getting the year, and in the next column we will be getting the rating. That totally depends upon your Excel configuration, and if you want to modify the string, you can just simply replace that. So this is it from the solution. If you are confused at anything or if you are stuck at anything, just let us know in the question answer section, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. In the previous video, we saw that how we can get the list of all the movies present on the IMDb top 250 page, and then we extracted the movie name and the movie year available on this page. Next is, now we are actually going to diversify this. So up till now we have developed the understanding that how we can extract the data from a single page and how we can use CSS selectors for getting the relevant data. Next is, now what if we want to combine the data from two different pages, from two different requests, and then comprehend them as a single response. So what I'm saying is that if I go for opening this page, over here I have this further information which is not available on this page. So here I only have the movie name, year, and the rating. Now what if I want to get the R rated, the duration of the movie, and if I go down, the genre of the movie, and I want to get the director information, any type of information I want to get, then how can I actually get it? Because right now our knowledge is only suffices on reading the data from a single page, and here this is a scenario where you have a linking page that is taking you to another page, and on that page we have this we have all this information. So how we can actually do that? Now, before moving further, I just want to add over here is that this is a dynamic website. So there is a chance that after some time that website will become, the website will update or it becomes obsolete. So I just want you to grab the basic idea that what I'm doing over here. And in case that if the website layout or if anything goes from, let's say we are getting duration over here, and after some time we start getting information from here to let's say at any point over here, or we are getting that at the bottom, it could be any update. So now I want you to actually grab the idea in such a way, grab this hovering in such a way that if the website updates, you get through this on your own. Still, we are there for you. If there are any questions, any confusions, you can approach us and we will provide you with the updated code, but you need to keep this thing in your mind. Now what we will do, the linking of both of these requests, or the data of both of these pages, we will do that in the next video. In this video, we will try to extract the URL and then we will try to hit on it and we will try to just simply go for it. That's pretty much it. And then in the next video, we will try to extract information from here. So for this, if we go for the IDE, and over here we have the previous code, which is providing us with the name of the movie and the year of the movie. Now, if we just open this one and go for the inspect, so we have this anchor tag and the text of the anchor tag is actually the name of the movie, which we are getting over here. Now we want to get this attribute href. So for that, what we will do, we will go for, let's say, print. We will go for td.a, and for the a, as I have mentioned earlier, that if you want to access any attribute of the tag, you need to go for the braces, and inside that you provide the name of the attribute. So we go for the href, and yeah, when we will go for the href, it will provide us with the actual link of the movie. So if we just run that now, so we are getting the name of the movie and we are getting its URL. So if we scroll to the top, so this was the first movie and this is its URL. And if we cross check over here, we don't need this extra information present after this. So this is some meta information we are not interested in. We are only interested in this information. So you can see that 161 and 161. So this title is matching exactly the same. Now the only thing that we have to do is to just append this stuff at the start of the URL and it will become a complete URL. So let's just make it movie ID and save this variable over here. Then we will go for movie URL and let's just copy this from here, paste it over here, and instead of getting this, we want to use this movie ID. And we need to refer it as a f-string notation. So if we go for writing the movie URL over here and run it, yeah. So if we again go for the first movie and click on it, perfect. So we are getting the it is actually taking us to this movie page, and now we have developed a way for extracting the URL. And now if we just put it inside the request, it will send a request to this particular page and extract its information as well. But we will do that in the next video. So this is pretty much it from this video. I hope that you are developing the understanding of all this stuff. And again, the website is dynamic, so just try to grab the basic idea of what I'm doing here, and then if in future the website changes, then do give it a try on your own. But still, if you get stuck at any point, then feel free to let us know in the question answer section.